Presented. So I want to introduce Matt Steinmetz. I guess everybody, I had spotlighted you, so I think that people can still see you. And we're going to talk about solutions. We're going to talk about scripts. We're going to talk about strategies. Well, by we, I mean Matt is, and answer some questions about what's going on in the mortgage world. So go ahead, Matt, take it away.
Yeah, great. So if there's questions, let's see, do you want to let me know when they
Yeah,
pop up? Okay.
I will. Then some of them are not shy and may just shout out a question. Others may chat. And if it looks like something really important, I'll chime in.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I will just briefly start by saying welcome. I know that the PLACE onboarding process is exciting to say the least. So good job for getting through that, and welcome to PLACE, and welcome to your introductory of Envoy. Obviously, we are all hoping that through the time that you're here, we can create quite a good relationship and partner up and better the company as a whole. PLACE has many companies that they're working through and working with to make the entire umbrella fantastic, and you and I are just part of that. So to get you started, I've shown you a slide here from Envoy's track record. Envoy started in like 1997 in Houston, just a few people, and grew from there. I joined them in 2007, so I've been here longer than dinosaurs roam the earth, it seems, and have been through many iterations, including the PLACE purchase, which took place about a year and a half ago. And they came in and made a lot of changes, worked on efficiencies, technology, and once you've been with PLACE for a bit, you'll see that they are big with technology and trying to make things more efficient and better. So that's been a fantastic journey over the last year and a half. I had to learn just as you are learning, and I think that you will enjoy it. So I invite you to join in on their calls, their contests, their best practices, and I think that you will benefit from that. So that is my speech on that. Envoy has great reviews, great track record, and we're here to partner with you. So next up is, let's see. All right, two screens going on here. Next up is just a little bit about me. That is my link to my link hub. I won't talk a whole lot about myself. I've been in the business for 21 years or so. So I know a thing or two, but I'm always learning and happy to brainstorm. But that's my link hub there. They take you all my socials, my website where people can apply, and other information there as well. So I'll leave that up just for 5 or 10 more seconds for anybody that wants to capture that, and then we will get on with that. Michael reached out to me initially, and we started talking about what we wanted to talk about, and the end result, as he mentioned, basically is scripts and overcoming objections, and just what we can say and what to do when and where. So that's what I plan on covering the majority of today, but some of the slides I'm going to be showing will be a little bit about what you're going to see from us and how you can use that. So the first slide is what everybody's talking about in the mortgage world right now, which is projections for this year, right? And you may have seen this or heard about it already, but this is a whole bunch of people, smart people, making projections. So when clients come to you and say, how's the market? Maybe I should wait to buy. I'm sure you hear that all the time. Rates are going to come down at some point. I'm going to wait till then. You can say, well, there's about a dozen or so smart projections out there that are saying rates aren't going to probably be any lower than the low sixes by the end of this year, right? And if you go into 2026, those projections aren't much better. Some go into the high fives. Of course, projections are often wrong, but this is what we've got to work with. So if somebody came today and the rate was, let's say, around 6.75, 6.8, and they said, I'm going to wait till the end of the year because rates are going to come down, you can pretty confidently say, well, they're not expected to come down by pretty much more than 0.5%. So is it worth waiting for the rest of the year in order to save 0.5%, which may be $100 on your payment, probably less, so that you're going to miss out on somewhere between 3 and 7% gain in equity during that year? Especially right now, we're calling it the window to purchase, right? I'm sure you all know that right now it's borderline buyer's market in a lot of areas, still considered seller's market because there's multiple offers going on really good properties. but also a lot of deals and concessions being given because almost a third of every listing out there has a price reduction. So buy now, before the spring market, before potential rates decline, right? And equity goes up because the multiple offers, the bidding happens, more people can afford, more people come into the market, all that jazz. And why wait for a 0.5% drop when you can afford it and qualify now and enjoy those gains? Okay, home price forecast. This goes along with that conversation that we just mentioned. You know, what do you think housing is going to do? I've heard that there's going to be a crash, any of that stuff. I hadn't heard that conversation in about a year, but obviously during and post pandemic, a little bit, people were kind of predicting that there was going to be a bubble, and most of us were like, I don't see that happening, right? And this year, it doesn't seem to be happening either. Most people are forecasting that we're going to have, you know, somewhere between 2 something and 5 something appreciation. This is nationally. In hot markets of California, we know that that's usually a little bit higher than that. So when you have these conversations with your customers, how's the market? What do you think? Is there going to be a bubble? Again, you have a bunch of smart people out there saying probably not. We're going to have somewhere between a 3 to 5% appreciation nationwide. And typically in California, we tend to be a little bit higher. You might know your market statistics down to a zip code, and that's fantastic. But if you're just generally speaking, this is what I like to talk about when people ask me those types of questions. Okay, so those 2 first slides actually came from something that we call the Market Spotlight. And that was on the slide with my QR code. It said Market Spotlight with Matt Steinmetz. Every Monday, we send out an email to you all, or we can. It's called the Market Spotlight. And it has slides like those 2 graphs with the rates and the appreciation. It has data that you can use, and it comes with information like this one here. How are applications, inventory, price reductions? Where's the 30-year fixed rate? What's that doing? And then a little blurb about buyers, sellers, and investors that you can use when talking to clients, right? Area Pro is another company that Place is utilizing for property information. And then along with those little blurbs, you get a rate update for the week with information. And this is all information you can read and utilize when you're talking to clients. There's scripts of the week. You can literally just cut and paste this into a text message or into ChatGPT and make it your own. Create a video with it if you'd like. You can put it in an email. Down below is another email, video, social content, script idea. Again, make it your own. Put it in your AI. Change it up a little bit, but it's done for you marketing. You can literally take this stuff from an email that you'll get from me and use it with clients that week. So every week you get something like this. I encourage you to sign up. Otherwise, you'll probably be added automatically as we go down the road. But you get little social tiles as well, like market updates, mortgage minutes. You can use these in your social medias or in your text messages. So just making it easy for you through this partnership to combat common objections for that week and post to your socials and do emails and text messages. Does anybody, do we think that's going to be beneficial at all? Any comments or questions on any of that?
Somebody wants us to put in the link to your, since they have QR code issues.
Okay, so that is going to be the QR code to sign up for the Market Spotlight. And I will put the QR code for my link hub up again in just a little bit.
All right, well, what I mean is someone wants a link. So I'll
a link to which one? Sorry.
Let's say they don't have a QR code reader. Right?
Oh.
Which then do we have a hard link? I might be able to get it myself from.
Okay. Well, if you want to just, I can email out later, I guess, any links that we need.
Just involves moving from, and if you don't have a QR code reader, get a QR code reader. I'm just my suggestion, but I'll go ahead.
Most smartphones, if you have a smartphone, if you just hold your camera over it, a little link pops up underneath it. You don't have to take the picture or use a particular QR code reader. But if your phone's a little older, it might change. Sorry.
It'll be so. Anyhow, I'll paste it in soon.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so just moving on to some more scripts. You can read this script, but basically this is the everything's more expensive, prices are too high, right? You don't have to know what programs we have or the details about qualifying. If you want to, obviously we can help you with more direct conversations, more one-on-one conversations with this particular one. If you wanted to use something like this, when they say things are too expensive these days, right? My lending partner has programs that can make it easier, right? That's just, let's open up that door for a conversation. We can talk about permanent buy downs. We can talk about temporary buy downs. We talk about making it easier for your payments and your wallet for the first couple of years or for the life of the loan. Let's connect you with my lender and strategize how to take advantage of these programs. It doesn't go in too deep, but it's just enough to make an introduction, get them curious and get them comfortable with talking to us. Just so we know, those conversations, they're 10 to 15 minutes. Typically, we just do a high level pre-qual, try to understand them and make them comfortable with the process and the possibilities that are in front of them. And if there are no possibilities, then we talk about how to make possibilities, like a little flight plan, if you will. All right, so another objection you often see are talking about, again, this is about permanent buy down or getting comfortable to purchase now and refinance later, right? If you could work with my lending partner to temporarily or permanently lower your rate today, and then once rates do come down, this goes back to that cost of waiting earlier when people are like, I don't want to buy right now, rates are too high. But what if you did? What if we could make it comfortable today and then later, because you've used our partner lender, they're going to waive any lender fees on a refinance for you. You don't have to pay, you end up paying less for that refinance than you normally would. Does that sound good, right? Something like that. So there's a script you can borrow for that. Because with Place, Envoy, partnerships, we have something that we call the boomerang refinance. So that is if you refer somebody else today and we refinance them later, we're going to waive those lender fees and save them some money. With that conversation, once you refer somebody over to us, if they do have, they want to talk about what we'd say that call a cost of waiting, we show them things like this. And this is something that we can send them a PDF on and go very particular with their parameters. But this one shows a $500,000 purchase price, 10% down. Today's rate, let's say, is 6.7. And if rates dropped 0.5% by the end of this year, which we mentioned earlier, their payment on the right-hand side would change $51. So for most people, they don't understand that. They just think they need lower payments. But what they're not understanding is if they bought today and a year later, they'd save $613 basically in loan payments if they waited for that lower rate. But they missed out on $17,500 in appreciation based off of a 3.5% potential home appreciation. That's just that. That's just the appreciation. You also have increased down payment, increased loan amount, increased hazard insurance, increased property taxes, right? And everything else that goes along with it. In this case, this is saying it would take them 31 years to recoup that money that they lost because they waited to save $51 a month. This can be a tool that gets somebody off the fence, right? So this is just part of that conversation that we can have with them, with people that you're talking to that might be hesitant of buying now because they want to wait for rates to drop that 0.5% later this year. So you could use this script. I'm working with all my clients that are eager to buy but hesitant because of home and rate prices. And then you ask them, have you factored in the monthly, the money you will lose when rates come down if you, versus buying now? And that's that graphic I just showed you. So
can I take in something with you?
Mm-hmm.
You can say no. It's all right. So this particular conversation is something all of us need to be good at, right? If you were going to practice scripts, right? One of the primary scripts would be what would I had a meeting today with a buyer. And saying the same thing, but we're going to think about waiting till interest rates go down and then we'll buy because it will be, well, and and I reminded them of what it was like when we were having 10, 20 offers and people were bidding over 50 grand over the list price and removing all their contingencies. Are you really going to be ahead if you wait till then, like everyone else is waiting till then, and then you're back into the situation, and in addition to the fact that it's going up in price and becoming good with these calculators, and we're going to be doing some role playing on the buyer consultation in the next few weeks. But one of the things we're going to practice is that calculator and to be able to to meet with somebody and be able to discuss the subject and show them so that they're motivated to buy now rather than waiting.
Right. That's perfect. So I'm sure I'm not, if you have access to the calculator on your side, but it's definitely on our website, on my website, and I'll send the link over if you need that. You can save a PDF on your own as well. So at a very high level, these are a lot of the products we've been using lately, and I'm not going to get too much into the products versus the objection handling that it covers. So often you hear people say either I'm being beat out by cash offers or multiple offers. We have bridge products. We have purchase like cash products. We have 5-day HELOC so they can get money out of an existing home before they sell. They use it as a down payment on the new home, right? So if you hear somebody say, I'm constantly getting beat out by cash or constantly losing the home to multiple offers, we might have a product to talk to them about. So you just keep those in your back pocket. You hear those trigger terms, you say, you know what, I'd like to introduce you to our partners over at Envoy Mortgage because they might have a solution for you. Again, same thing with affordability. Prices are too high. I don't have any down payment. I can't afford it. I'd like to introduce you to our partners over at Envoy Mortgage because they might have a solution for you. In that case, we might talk about temporary or permanent buy downs, or we might talk about down payment assistance. We do a ton of down payment assistance and a ton of buy downs. So it's a common use these days to handle a very common objection. Okay. The third column there, investors and self-employed. I'm sure you all know them. You are self-employed yourself, right? You know a lot of self-employed people. Those could be business owners. Those are landscapers. Those are contract workers. Those are everything. That's not a W-2 employee, right? Well, yes, we can qualify them on their tax returns just like on a standard file, but we also have products that don't require that. We can look at 1099s, P&Ls, bank statement deposits. If you have investors out there wanting to purchase investment homes, we can calculate their income based off of the projected rents of the property and not even look at their tax returns or the payments they make on their current property, right? So there's lots of options for investors and self-employed to qualify in alternative ways. And so if you hear those objections, I can't qualify based off of my tax returns, I'm self-employed. I'd like to introduce you to our partnered lender. They might have a solution for you. Super easy, right? We can get deeper on it if you'd like, but as a general term, it's so easy to just make those referrals. And then also rates are too high or prices too high. Again, the Envoy Rate Saver is our buy down conversation. The Envoy Boomerang is buy now, save when you refinance later, and those cost of waitings that we talked about. So here's an option for when somebody comes in and maybe they already have a pre-approval or they're hesitant to get a pre-approval. But just a basic script of, the financing is one of the most important parts. You should have clarity, and getting pre-approved strengthens your position. I have a trusted partner I'd like to connect you with. Saying the same thing over and over again, if you're not used to doing scripts or handling objections quite yet, saying the same thing over and over again, it doesn't just help with specific items. It can be helpful across the board because you just get used to having canned answers or scripts, even if they're general, so that you can tweak them for a given situation. It severely will help you get over any call reluctance you might have if you're doing dialers or cold call out of the database or leads. So just knowing what to say when things come up, even if you don't, want to use these scripts verbatim, make them your own. I invite you, because it will change your process, I think, for the better. So this is real quick, just a snippet of what you'll see in the spotlight email on Monday. It's a reminder on how to refer. But what we're not looking for is somebody you haven't spoken to, right? We want people who are interested in buying, just like you want people who are interested in buying. So once you've had that conversation with somebody and they are interested in buying, they have a desire to purchase, and they're ready for a consultation. Like I said, I'd like to introduce you to our lender, right? Hit that. In your Brivity, you have an Envoy referral button. I know Michael knows where this is. He can show you, and but on the bottom left there's a little picture of it that's on the right-hand side of each contact with inside Brivity. And you pick me as your lender in there, and I will get it in my CRM, and we will start working together on it, okay? We also ask that, just best practices. We've learned that sending a three-way text or a three-way email to that client saying, hey, I've introduced you to Matt over at Envoy, helps out the conversion rate by quite a bit. So as we move forward, just remember, if you're doing leads, Zillow leads, or any of these other type of things, we want you to have that conversation before we have the conversations. We want to make sure that you know who they are and they know who you are when we start talking about you and pre-qualifying them. So once you hit that Brivity referral button, it comes over to our CRM. And sorry, this looks a little blurry on my end, but inside your Brivity, underneath that Envoy referral button that you can see there, you will be able to see who the loan officer is, what stage it's in, and our most recent note. So you can always look inside your contact in Brivity and have an idea of what we're working on with that particular lead. And if you have questions, of course, reach out, text, call, email. So this update just came out this week, and we're rather excited about it because it will cut down on a lot of the back and forth and unknowns from your side. So this is just an idea of what happened during a purchase where a place agent was able to secure a concession from the seller. They got $8,200. We had a conversation with this client about either doing a temporary buy down for 2 years or a permanent buy down. And when we showed them the side by side, we said, you're going to save $8,100 over 2 years, or $6,600 over 2 years with a permanent buy down. They decided that they believe they are going to refinance within the first 2 years, and they would rather save more on the temporary buy down versus the permanent buy down. So that's a choice, and it can be different for each person and each family. So we like to walk them through that and make sure they understand so that they can make the choice that's best for them. But one doesn't always make the same, isn't the same answer for everybody. So it's nice to be able to show them the comparison side by side and let them decide. So when you're out talking to people, potential buyers, you might ask them this question: do you have any money saved up for down payment? Or they might offer that information. We don't have any money saved up right now. We're going to save up. We're going to buy next year, or 2 years, or 5 years, right? Well, we know that most people can't save up enough at the same rate that home prices appreciate, especially if they're thinking they have to save up for 20% down, which a lot of people still do. We wanted to say, hey, if there were loan programs that would allow you to get into a home with little or no down from you, would you be interested in talking to somebody, right? Doesn't have to be, again, very much in depth, but just open that door for a conversation. Here's that investor script. It doesn't rely on your income or look at your monthly payments, such as the mortgage payment on your current home. A lot of people don't understand how this can work. We're really just interested in the property that they're buying and that it's going to cash flow or come close to cash flow. So let us talk to them. And most times, if they have a decent credit score, some reserves in the bank, and the home is at or close to cash flow, we can approve them. Okay, and here's one for the self-employed. Like I said before, they say they won't qualify because they're self-employed or something along those lines. It's a common challenge. I'm in the same boat. If there was a loan that we could get you qualified based off your bank statement, your P&L, or other assets, would that be interesting to you? Let's connect you with our partnered lender. And just a quick plug, of course, we have flyers and sign writers and lawn signs available for any open houses you might be doing. So just go ahead and reach out and we'll work together to get you what you need on that. And here is my information again with the QR code. I apologize. I will send out links for everything over to Michael and he can share. Are there any questions up to now that I can help with?
I think they have the links now.
Okay, sounds good. Appreciate that.
So pre-approval,
Yeah.
could you maybe spend a moment, so I have somebody who's interested, what special do you offer in terms of underwriting, that sort of thing?
Okay, so let me find my mouse here. Jeez. When you say specials, are you talking about?
For example, how quickly could they be pre-approved? Do you use a DU? Do you do what level of underwriting? How quickly could you close? If somebody gave you everything, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so typically, I can see the chat now too.
Oh.
So typically, somebody comes over and we try and schedule or have a call with them that same day, right? So we'll call a person, and if we can reach them, we'll talk to them and do a really quick pre-qual, 10, 15-minute pre-qual, verbal pre-qual with them, and ask them, if they would like to do an application over the phone. If they want to do an application over the phone, we'll take it right then and there. If they don't have time, or they don't know their spouse's information and they need to wait till get home later, we'll send them a link and they can fill it out later. But once we have their application, we can start reviewing it same day. Now, I will say that just out of experience, most people, they trickle in information and we can pre-approve them within a day or two in most cases. And that is with an AUS, a DU, or an LPA run generally, and then we'll submit it to underwriting, which takes a couple more days. If you are comfortable, which we are in most cases, making pre-approval letters based off of that review with the DU or the LP, that's fine. We can make offers. That's what loan contingencies are for, to make sure the underwriter agrees with us. But we've been doing this long enough to have a basic understanding of what we think will and won't qualify once it's run through the DU and LP. And if it's a complicated self-employed thing, of course, it might take longer. We'll send that into the underwriter to review the income taxes, or up to the investor to review those bank statement deposits if we're doing a bank statement loan or something like that.
Emily wants some of your open house material.
Okay, so I will put my email in the chat here.
She has your link, I think, so
okay.
You should be able to get that in. Emily and I are talking later today. We can talk about open houses. And
that's my cell phone number. And so, so as far as timing to close, right? So we can definitely close in under 30 days. And if it's a condo, I would prefer 18 days or more so that we can make sure that condo gets approved, things like that. If it is crucial to close in 15 days or less, we can and have done that numerous occasions. We just need to talk about it because I have to make sure the client is on board with turning in documents as soon as we request them, right? Can't wait a day or two for an updated pay stub in that example. So when it comes to timing, I would say let's focus on things that are 18 to 30 days in general. But if we have to go faster, something around 15 days or 12 days in the rare circumstance could be comfortable.
The mortgage calculator,
Uh-huh.
If it's called the Place Mortgage Calculator, when we are going to be doing the buyer consultation, one of the calculator, we'll be talking about the calculator, but it's easy to download. And some of the special calculators, like determining the value of home ownership and that sort of thing, it fits the buyer consultation perfectly. And I'm just throwing that out as you ought to download the Envoy calculator, mortgage app. Like,
Yes, so I just put in a link to the website where we have calculators, the buy down, the cost of waiting, and generic calculators as well. I am going to grab the link to my app because you can definitely install that and become a partner. What that does in one instance is allow you to change the pre-approval letters. Let's say we pre-approve somebody for $1 million and you're going to make an offer for 950, you can go in and change it downward. You don't have to constantly ask me for every $5,000 you're going to lower a price or something like that. But I will put this link in here so that you have, it also has calculators and will be on your phone.
we're going to use those calculators when we're doing buyer consultations. And just to be clear for everybody, because not everybody, Matt, that's here is on the Place team yet.
Oh, okay.
Right, yet. So do you have to be on a Place team to use Envoy Mortgage?
Absolutely not. We work with my app. Here we go.
Anyone with a license?
We work with non-place teams and place teams. As I mentioned, I've been here for 16 plus years, so obviously I worked with and continue to work with real estate agents who are not part of Place. It's just as far as being part of Place, the integration now is better than it was a year and a half ago when we first got started, and a year and a half from now it'll be even better. So if you are with Place, it just makes more sense for a lot of reasons to be working with Envoy Mortgage. Yep. And then if you're not with Place, that's fine too. We work just fine with people who are not with Place.
And it's a non-denominational, not everybody is with EXP, but it's non-denominational. If a realtor also wanted to do loans at some point in their career, would they have and let's say they were on a Place team, would they have an opportunity to do that through Envoy?
Yes, Envoy has the option for you to be dual licensed. And we would have a call about that to talk about the the necessary licensing and items that you'd have to do to be part of Envoy and compensation and all of that stuff.
Yeah. So you could do loans for the people ask me, can I do loans? The answer is yes, potentially you could do loans.
Yeah, we started that last summer, and as far as I know, there's at least a half a dozen or so that have taken advantage of that at this point. Most of those people are in what I'll say smaller towns, more rural, where they might be one of the only real estate professionals and lenders around, but also there's definitely some in larger markets.
Right. So, and if, let's say interest rates, this is a comment to the group, let's say interest rates dip. Mm-hmm. They don't go to 5 something, but they go significantly, they go lower. Might that encourage people to refinance? And would give a opportunity for you as an agent to reach out to your sphere of influence and say, hey, have you noticed that the rates went down? And, you might be able to save some money. Would you be interested in getting a quote and seeing how it works and that sort of stuff? And it gives you a way of connecting with people that also would, produce some business.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm sorry there are so many of them blurting out questions at once that we can't keep up, but
it's a quiet group. It's okay.
They're thinkers. They're deep.
First timers with me. They're not. Who's this bald guy over here? It's all right. We'll get used to each other.
All right. Any questions, comments, suggestions?
Can you put in the chat where each of you are located? I'd like to get an idea of where you guys sit.
That's a good. Marysville, Riverside, San Diego.
I'll be near Marysville this weekend.
Morgan Hill. God bless Morgan Hill. And North Linden. There's do you have, you can see I have a diverse group.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
if the client spoke Spanish, do you have loan agents that speak Spanish?
I do. I do. So Maria on my team speaks Spanish. We also have George. So we have two people that speak Spanish. And if you need that, we'll make an introduction to Maria for sure and go from there. Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, just a question.
Yep. And for people who, let's see, I see some Los Angeles, San Diego. We have team members like you guys. We have team members kind of throughout California. I have somebody over in Woodland. I have somebody down in San Diego area. But we work with teams all over the state. Just I'm currently in Walnut Creek, but as I mentioned, I'll be near Marysville. And when I say that, I mean Lincoln because my family lives in Lincoln. If anybody knows where that is. And yeah, so we're all over. You're all over. It'll be a good partnership. We just have to get started. I don't have anybody that speaks Farsi. I'm currently working, trying to bring somebody on that speaks Tagalog. But right now we just have Spanish.
All right. Any other questions? So you have loan, let's say I was in San Diego and I wanted to do a home buying seminar and I got a room and we were going to promote it. Do you have somebody that might show up other than virtually?
Yeah, I mean, I assume so, right? Based on schedule. Adam lives down there and he's a great guy. So if somebody wants to meet Adam down in San Diego, I can definitely make that connection. We, you guys have a very large team, so we expect that we're going to have a few of our partners working with you guys as a group, so that not one person gets inundated and starts to fall behind on following up with the leads that we send over, right? So it'll start with myself. I have Ashley here too. She is, I don't know if she's on camera or not, but yeah. Anyways, Ashley's here with me. She works with me directly, and Maria for Spanish, and then anything past what Ashley and Maria and I handle, we will divvy up and make new introductions. So once we get the deal flows going, you might meet more people, and I hope you do.
Sounds good. All right, guys, are we
Question.
good?
Do you also work with VA loans?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So we do pretty much every type of loan, including light commercial. We'll do VA, FHA, jumbo, conforming, light commercial, as I mentioned, which would be like mixed use and some other smaller commercial jobs. We do I-10 loans, bank statement loans, seconds, equity lines. So yeah, if you have questions, just reach out. The only thing I can say we don't do is mobile. We'll do manufactured, we'll do modular, not mobile, but just about anything else you're going to come across as a real estate agent, we can entertain.
Not mobile, yes.
So when you say that just means like not the mobile homes, but like a mobile home park that will qualify, right? Like a property on the mobile at the mobile home park will.
Well, no, they have to own the land.
So they can't rent it because like
Emily, the mobile homes that are in a mobile home park on rented space are personal property, not real property. And so the loans are different.
oh
It's like literally, it's like buying a boat or getting a loan.
Yeah, it's more like through a DMV than it is.
Right. Right, buying a car and getting a loan. It's much more like that than it is, buying a house. And so most of the time you'll see the listing agents in mobile homes will actually put in the name of a lender who does mobile homes because they're tired of agents calling them and not having a mobile home lender. If you do a YouTube channel, you'll see I did a a video on mobile home madness or something like that, and I had a mobile home lender talk about it because the whole process is different in terms of qualify. It's different, and so let's I mean, so if you have one of those, Ron, I know what to do with it, but it's not the same kind of loans, and they're different lenders.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Hi, Matt.
Hi,
Hi,
Angela.
I am interested in the dual licensing, so I'll be reaching out to you separately. Just wanted to say hi and let you know.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
And just to confirm that, for those of you that are curious, there's two ways to do loans, if I could just mention this. One way is to take 20 hours of pre-NMLS education, go take the NMLS exam and pass it. But in that system, you have to do loans through your broker, and EXP does not do loans. So that means you can't do loans. The second way of doing loans is to get licensed. You take 22 hours of pre-license education. The extra 2 hours is a California mortgage course. And you go take the same exam, the NMLS exam, but now you could work for a Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, a lender, which means you don't even need a real estate license to do that, right? There's probably loan agents that work with Matt that aren't real estate agents, right? There's no law that says you have to do both. And then in that case, you could still do loans. And you talk to me if you're doing this and you're going to be doing a loan for a buyer client. That's a little trickier because EXP doesn't want to see you writing pre-approval letters for your own buyers, right? They just philosophically don't like it. So there's a workaround that we would have to do, but it's not a complicated one, that in case you were wondering what the process is, that's it. Right, and these courses to do this are available through the California Association of Realtors for a nominal fee.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth a conversation if anybody's interested in it. I'll connect you. We'll have a three-way call or a group call like this with Jesse, who's our president of Envoy, and probably Michael and yourself, and we'll go through the details and answer any questions. And I wish it were as easy as saying your license, let's flip it on, you're now a loan officer, but there are some things you got to do, and we'll just cover that. And if you're still interested, move forward. It's totally possible. There are people doing it. I'll support it. Anything we can do.
Yeah, the value of this in the long term, of course, is that the market flips in terms of loans back and forth from refis and purchases. And when interest rates go up, people aren't refining, but they may still be purchasing. When interest rates go down, sometimes they do it because people aren't purchasing, but then they're refinancing. And so if you have a little flexibility in that, it could be, profitable. It's my theory. All right. Any other questions? Well, I think we've satisfied them because they don't want any more.
Well, feel free to reach out, text, call, email if questions come up later, or you're come across something later today or tomorrow and you just want to reach out. Please do. I invite it, and happy to meet you all. And hopefully you found some value here, at least one or two items, and we look forward to moving forward.
Thank you, everybody. And by the way, if you're interested in finding out more about the Place team, Envoy, reach out to me. All right, if we haven't.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Too.